Well, the 2022 AFL season is over, and went out in a bit of an anticlimactic fashion. Unfortunately, my boys, the Sydney Swans, got absolutely pumped. I'm glad at least it wasn't a 100-point victory for the Cats. That would have been very embarrassing for us. But yeah, it was not a fun day for me at all watching this game. I watched through to the end. I watched the Norm Smith medalist and the Premiership medals presentations. But yeah, not a lot did I cheer. Apart from maybe this first Will Hayward goal, I cheered a little bit. After that, there wasn't really much coming out of my mouth because it was just a complete smashing. Right from the start, right till the finish. Geelong were on top. They dominated. There's really not much more to say. It was a bit of an arm wrestle in the first 9 or 10 minutes, but after that it completely broke open. Geelong kicked the first two, we hit back. Then Geelong just piled on the goals from there. It was a 35-point margin at quarter time. It was a 36-point margin at half time. At quarter time, I was kind of holding on to a little bit of hope that maybe we could come back, especially seeing that the Eagles did do a similar thing in 2018. They conceded the first 5 goals of that game, and they came back and won one of the all-time great grand finals, but we couldn't do the same. Yeah, it was 36 points at halftime. I wanted to believe that there was a little bit of hope for the Swans, but in my heart, I knew that there was no coming back. We'd left it too late, really, to come back into the game. In a grand final, it was just never going to happen. And then, yeah, that Geelong kicked the first 3 goals of the third quarter in very quick succession. And it was all over. They kicked 6 goals to 0 in the third quarter. And then the last quarter was a bit more even, but obviously the game was already over at that point. It was a 74-point margin. We will never... No one's ever going to come back from that. It was... The one positive, I suppose, was that Paddy McCartan kicked the goal. Yeah, Paddy McCartan's just had a great season. It's been a great comeback from him. A few years ago, he looked just about down and out. Never play AFL again after 8 or 9 concussions. Took a couple years break. Came back in the VFL last year, and he's secured a spot on our list this year. He's been one of the best defenders, one of the best intercept defenders, and one of the best players for us all year. So, yeah, he was probably one of our better players on the day. He wasn't overly good on the grand final because he didn't have a lot of competition amongst his own teammates, but he's definitely been one of our greatest players this year. Chad Warner finished with 2 goals, 29 disposals. He was easily our best player of the day. He was just about the only player from us that really looked competitive at all. And I guess that'll segue into my votes, where I'll be giving Chad Warner the 1 vote for obviously the 2 goals, 29 disposals. The 2 votes I'd be giving to Patrick Dangerfield. 27 disposals, 6 goal assists, no goals, surprisingly. He had 1 goal stolen off him by the fullback who socked his kick through from the goal square. I think it was going to go through, and then Sam De Koning, who hadn't kicked a goal to that point in his career, just socketed it through, which would have been a nice feeling for him to kick his first goal in the grand final. And obviously the Norm Smith medalist would get my 3 votes, Isaac Smith. Hard to go past him. 3 goals, 32 disposals. Absolutely magnificent performance from the Geelong wingman. 23 kicks, 771 metres gained, the most on the ground. And with that, we'll pretty much wrap up my AFL Grand Final preview, or sorry, review. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. Yeah, I'd just like to forget about this game now. Yeah, I'd like to just forget about this game now, really. Very forgettable game for Sydney Swans fans. It wasn't a very good grand final. We haven't had a really good grand final for a while now. Last time that happened was 2018. This was, yeah, very disappointing. Now we'll just have to tune into the trade period, I guess, since that'll be starting up soon, now that the season's over. And then, once that's done, I guess I'll be watching AFLW. Hopefully Sydney are going okay in that. Well, crap.